Hey guys, it's Corey here. Every couple of days here now, I'm punching out a new program, and this is the latest program here. This is a freight brokerage tool for emailing your customers, or actually no, sorry, there. It's for emailing your trucking companies to get quotes from them to haul different loads. Um, So the reason why you want to have a tool like this is because it saves time. Um, right down here, it tells you how many emails it's going to send when you punch in all the data. So you don't even have to look up in your database any companies at all there. Once you put in the parameters, which is what type of trucking company you want to use for hauling this load, and what states and provinces, it pretty much does the work for you, for finding the emails and also filtering out any companies that you don't want to use. As you can see, like it's got this exclude freight brokerage option here as well. I'll just kind of run over some of the stuff that it does. Okay, so first you start out with choosing what kind of trailer you're going to pull your load with. So you got drive-in, reefer, flatbed, step deck, land-all, lowboy, RGN. You got container, Super B, roll tight trailer, dump trailer, food grade tanker, pneumatic tanker, cold chain liquid tanker like nitrogen, car hauler, straight truck, parcel. If you got to do a white glove service, um, hot shot, quad, multi axle, or freight brokerage. Okay, so you got all those options in there. And I set the exclude freight brokerages because you're going to want to probably exclude them unless you need help. I know there's some exceptions to the rule. When you can't find a carrier to haul it and somebody else knows or can help out, sometimes you can get that done. Exclude origin and destination carriers. So you have uh, if you want to shrink down the number of carriers you're talking to, or if you don't want to use American carriers or Canadian carriers, you can exclude based on origin and destination. Now, how this works in terms of determining what carriers you're going to use is based on the origin and destination province. So which are labeled in here. So you got Alabama, Alabama, because it's the first two characters in the alphabet, alphabetically labeled in the list. So I'm Canadian and so on. So that it includes the provinces of Canada as well. But basically, that's how you're gonna decipher which carriers you're gonna use because of these provinces. So we're gonna select all the carriers in whatever province or state we choose, and that'll be the determiner for how many emails we're gonna send and how many companies we found in the database. Now we don't have an email for every company, so there will be more companies than emails to send. So you got another option here to select only carriers with warehouses. So if you need to go to like the fleet size and somebody that's going to be cheaper, or select only carriers with intermodal, which means like railroad. So that might even be cheaper as well there. So you got that, and then your origin city goes here, your province goes here. So let's put that in. Put an origin city of Toronto, Ontario, and your destination city of Montreal. Let's do this across the country here. Let's go to Vancouver, BC. Okay. Now it should show right away, I think, because we selected. Oh no, we got to select a drive-in or a reefer. So let's select the reefer. Let's say we have a reefer load, okay? And the date. So right now it says 2038. So you got to go drop down, click on your, and then bring it back down to the date. And then you're doing April, and today is Thursday, so we'll pick up for Friday, and we're gonna. So let's make sure we got that right now. So we picked up for the second, which is wait, let me hear. Every time I demo this is funny. Okay, so let's do the second, which is that's the second today, right? Let's do the third then. Okay, and then we're gonna pick up by the Friday. So that gives us a 2-day window to pick up. So there's the listing, Thursday, April 3rd, 2025 to Friday, April 4th, 2025. And then the load size is over here. So let's say, you know, you want to do full truckload, and you're gonna, you know, you don't need to put in any length right now. You can put in whatever you want. In your weight, you're gonna put in 30,000 pounds. Description, general freight, or whatever it is. And let's say skids, normal 26 skids, and then enter that in. Okay. So you got the correcting feature here too, and you can delete that whole line and add a new one if you want in there. You can add freeze protection, tarps, chains, whatever you need to do. If you need it expedited, you can even add teams or ramps. If it's over width, you can note those. And then temperature control, you can note those as well with a reefer. So if you got a reefer, you know, you want it no less than 5 or, you know, maximum 5 degrees Celsius, or you want to keep it around there. Give them an idea where they need to sit, and you can write in the instructions here if you want to put anything in instructions. If you want to display the emails before sending, and how long you want it to display for, so 10 seconds. Now if you wanted to send emails on interval individually, you could the individual option, and you can put in how long, 1 minute, 3 seconds each. Or you could go to the BCC line, which means that everything goes on the BCC line. Now, if you notice here, emails to send is at 353. Now, I didn't mention one function here that is really cool. This has found all the carriers found in both origin and destination provinces, right? Now, let's say you have zones. Like DAT lists these zones. As you can see, they're all color coded, and there's like zone 0 to 9 in the States, and in Canada there's 3 zones. There's the western zone here, so it's called ZC, the central zone between Ontario and Quebec, and then the eastern zone, which is all the eastern provinces like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI. So you have those options to choose from based on which your origin province is in. So if your origin province, which ours is Ontario, then Quebec and Ontario are part of the same zone. So it will search for carriers in Quebec as well as Ontario. So you're getting on the zone search feature here on the front end. If you select that, you will get the zone, all of the carriers in the zone. So if we so when I go back here to look at 353, that should increase with a zone and decrease if it's just the state or province only. And so that search feature is found right here. So you got state or province only right now. So we had 353. So if I click to the zone, continental zones, it should increase. And look at that. I went from 353 to 835. So now it selects all the carriers in Quebec and so Ontario and Quebec. And not only that, on the receiving end too as well. So the receiver is in BC, so all of the provinces along that route. So there's Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So it's not just searching carriers in BC here, it's searching carriers in all of the zones. So it's Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta carriers are also included with the search for British Columbia. So that way, and you got a little description here in this little window of all the zones and what they include as well. And it tells you a little instruction here about what it's all about. Okay, so that is pretty much it. So the next thing is okay, so you got options here. So you can start sending emails, you can preview the email, you can save all of the inputs. So let's say we save. Now you have the option to delete any selected inputs. You can delete all of the inputs that you have from previous ones, and you can select previous inputs. So if you wanted to change back to a previous load and resend to carriers to see if there's any available, you can go back and do that again. To preview the email, you're going to go like that, click the preview button, and it popped open on my other screen, so we got to drag it over here, and there you go. So there's your quote. Dear carrier, so it's coming from a freight broker. We are requesting a rate quote for the following load. Origin Toronto, destination Vancouver, pickup date range. Oh, so I gotta go back and change that again there. And I think that that's because of the fact that every time I click into the select inputs, for some reason there, and cancel out, so I gotta go rechange that. Load size full truckload, trailer types reefer, and then you get the weight, and we got the temperature controls for specifics, 5 degrees Celsius. If you want to put a little bit more detail, you can add in the special specific instructions line any extra details, but that gives you an idea. Please reply with your best rate and availability, and so on. Thank you. Okay, so let's go back here just to show you what happened to the date. So is the date correct? Yeah, see the date changed right here, so you gotta kind of watch out for that. And sorry, there I hit the same 04, 03, so that should fix that problem there. I think it's also sensitive to my mouse scroller. I have like the little wheel, mouse wheel, and sometimes I notice there if I hover over top of that date thing, it changes. But yeah, there's your date right there. So there, that fixed that. Let's close out. And then you just basically, you can start sending emails. Now, if you want to filter out the emails to see what you're sending to, you can go like this, create a filtered emails. Let's see if we got any issue there. So there he goes. So I'm going to show you here. There's the filtered email file. Now it popped open over on the other screen. So this is the email list right here. And it also prevents you from sending duplicate emails. So if your database contains a duplicate email, then this program will prevent that. So we can go to conditional formatting, highlight, check for duplicate values, and highlight any duplicate values if there are any. And as you can see, none highlighted, so that means that there are no duplicate values. So that worked good. So that tells you that you're not going to send out the same email twice to a person. Okay, so the next question is, okay, we did the filtered emails. Now I'm going to do export companies file. So filtered companies. So we'll save that, and I'll just demo that. And the companies file opened up on the other screen. Gotta drag it over, and here you go. So this should tell you that all the companies that were selected here. So on the front end here. So I'm gonna just tell you. So it says that it found 3,423 companies that were in the zones. Okay, that is how many are listed in this file that we exported through, and that way you can kind of review any details about your database. So this is just a little feature that I put up there, but basically you can kind of see that our zone is basically all of Western Canada and Central Canada included. So you got Quebec, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and BC, and Ontario, all in this file here. You can see right now there, just this quick scroll, that in this column, it's all of those provinces only. And you know what I didn't see a lot of, which is funny, is Ontario, which I'm kind of curious about what happened. Let's go down the list here and see what we find. Always trying to learn something new about my database and my programs that I build. So this is why I built this, because sometimes you want to fact check your database. So right now there we can see that it only selected Quebec and Manitoba. So that's something there, and then I'm going to go back and check to see why it didn't grab any of the database for Ontario later on here, because that's got to work for Ontario as well, unless there's something different here on the front end, which there isn't. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this out here and see if my database actually has, so it's 353 now, right? Let's make another filtered companies here, and we'll put test for Ontario here. And let's see here, filtered emails, filtered companies, Ontario. I just want to see if my database has any reefer Ontario companies at all. So right now it's got BC. So I know what's going on. I think now. I think I realized what happened there slightly. So it probably has the search feature at the top here. Exclude origin. Yes. so so I turned it off now. So that tells you right there that that's part of the reason why that didn't filter properly. So that there you go. It kind of shows you that it's sort of working. The question that I have is why it didn't exclude Quebec. So that is the next question. But you know, right there it tells you that the script actually is functioning right. It's just that sometimes you don't realize certain things are getting selected and so on, and you have to be careful too. Like if I scroll with the wheel, there's the scroll with the wheel and it changes the date. So you got to kind of note that for future reference too as well. So you got to be careful sometimes here with your choices. I think even if I scroll here with the wheel, yep, it did the same thing. But those are things that you learn as you go there in terms of what you want to add as a feature and so on there. It's kind of a learning experience because you're like, okay, I love this feature of scrolling up and down in this window, and actually I don't mind this idea of scrolling up and down here because that just tells you like, hey, the next one over here, if you click in the right spot, yeah, it's not bad. so there's all sorts of stuff that you can learn from these little ideas, and then you find out like there's problems with to go with it. But yeah, so that's basically what happened there. I guess is so there's something new there that I gotta learn. But like this is working as good as it needs to right now, and I can do one more filtered emails just to kind of show you whether it got it right this time. Ontario, Quebec, and then let's go back here and we'll test one more group. This is the Ontario Quebec file, and let's wait for it to open up here. Gotta drag it over. Okay, there you go. So right there, there's all the Ontario. So that really, and you know what? Like, look at that. Okay, so it just shows BC and Ontario. So that means that our front end had to show not a continental search. So it just is state province. So there's the continental, and we'll try it one more time here. Now, I think what's going on is actually my wheel is scrolling and changing sometimes, and so you got to be cautious about that. Yeah, it looks good. So now we got the zone. So let's try this again. Let's do zone. ON. I'll just call it zone ON. And bottom of the screen, zone ON. Oh. What did it say here? Do we have a file like that? What did it say there? Okay, good. It opened. Okay, there you go. So Saskatchewan is included, so that's part of the zone. Quebec is there too as well, and Ontario is there. So there's a lot of Ontario, and that should be the case. A lot of BC, a lot of Saskatchewan. So that looks good. And there are 6,000 in the database there, 6,005 approximately, or 4. And you can see right there, 6,404, sorry there. And then you got the 1,570 emails for the zone. And so that's a lot more than what it was when it was a state province. Look at that, eh? That's quite a bit larger jump there. So that's based on the fact that we had not excluded this, because when we excluded the origin or destination on one of them, if we exclude the origin, it goes back down to 353. And if you do it to the destination, it'll be totally different. It'll be a lot larger because Ontario has a lot more carriers on the origin side, which is what we're selecting. We're selecting the ones on the origin side. So yeah, there's so many ways to do this, and that's really handy because when you're sending out bulk emails, sometimes you need to lower that number. Okay, 700 is like pretty ideal to get at least like 5 6 quotes, I think, like almost immediately. But if you're sending out like 1,200 or so, I think that they have a cap, and I'm yet to learn where that cap is, but I know it's sitting around, you know, this mark 700 800 a day, um, on the blind carbon copy emails. And so all I have to do when I want to get this going is hit start sending emails, and it will pull up the email, display it for 10 seconds, and then, you know, send it off right away. And then, you know, you gotta sift through all of the bad emails that went through, because usually in a database this large, no human has the time to um, look through 1,000 emails and figure out which ones work or not, and then you got to figure out how to do that, which is another little idea that I came up with as well. But it requires a lot more work, money, and I built the tool, but I don't want to spend any money on it. I'm trying to keep us as free as possible, so I'm trying to figure out some new ideas on not having to spend any money on these little tools and so on. But I hope you liked my program. As you can see, it's pretty complex, and I'm pretty sure that this tool would be great for anybody that is trying as a freight broker to send out emails quickly, professionally, and not have to think too hard about what carriers to select, who to go to. You might have 5 or 10 carriers in your list, but I think you know, with this many or whatever there, you could probably ramp up your quotes quicker and more professionally, and organize your time, and save yourself a lot of time actually there, and organize your other tasks that you need to do fairly quickly. So that's my goal with this program right now, is to just get these emails out as fast as possible, and get responses from the carriers, and take that data back to the, you know, utilize that data so I can go back to my customers and give them the best quotes possible in the market. I think you know, any of my customers as well there, if you're looking for a brokerage, you know, you're looking not just at professionalism, but you also want to have price points. A lot of customers are looking for the best prices out there in the market, and you know, by having a tool like this, you've narrowed down your visibility, and you can also see who's out there that's also offering the best price points generally, because you can get quotes faster, and you get a lot more variety out of them. So this will be a very handy tool for anybody that wants to utilize it. And if you have an interest in this program, contact me there. There's a lot of options in this tool as well. You got the hazmat, the lift gate. You know, I can add any kind of feature as well, like little features that you would think that should go with this. I would love to hear them in the comments section of this video. You know, that something that you would like to see, and I'll add it, and you know, I'll re-demo this for you, or whatever you want. There, you let me know. Okay, and yeah, so thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. We're at the 24-minute mark, and yeah, so every couple days I'm coming out with a new tool, and pretty soon I think we're going to be looking at AI tools in the near future. So right now there, we're just building up these tools to work with Microsoft Outlook, but they also can easily adapt to Gmail or Yahoo or any kind of other email service as well. And I believe in the near future we are going to migrate away from any other email services, just based on the fact that software programming is becoming a lot easier because of AI, and it's becoming way more complex. A program like this, I believe, would normally take months to build, and it doesn't take that anymore. And that's why I'm doing this right now, and that's why my channel is called Overnight Software Developer, because it's so much easier now for you guys to, if you wanted to try and take a stab at building this there, you know, I got classes that I'm teaching how to do this as well. So there's lots of opportunities there. I've got a meetup group But yeah, just message me in the comments. I'll try and respond my best I can, and get you guys on the right path. And you'll start seeing eventually here AI implemented with this stuff in the near future. And pretty soon we'll be personalizing these emails and not just shooting out them like en masse like this as well. Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, and we'll like, share, and subscribe.